Hey friends, it's Rachel. Welcome back to my channel. First of all, I want to start out by saying a heartfelt thank you to you guys because you made my last video such a success. I have received over 9,000 views and counting, so that means so much to me. And so thank you to everybody also who subscribed. I am so appreciative of you, and even to those who have not subscribed, if you're not comfortable with doing that right now, that is totally fine. But it just means so much to me when you come back and you watch my videos every week or 9 days, however often. I mean, I try to get one out every week, but sometimes it stretches out a little longer just because of life, and I'm a perfectionist, so I like my videos to be as perfect as I can make them for you. So in today's video, I'm going to be decorating my coffee bar for Easter and spring, and I'm going to be doing a DIY, an Easter DIY for you. You probably caught what it was in the intro. I have to tell you, I did not go out and buy anything for it. I had everything that I needed already, so that's always a plus. Now, I want to point out one thing. I did do a kitchen video earlier, like about a month ago, I would say, and I did a coffee bar in that video as well, although I really didn't have any bunnies in that. I don't think I had any bunnies at all. So this one is more geared toward Easter, but it could be spring or Easter to tell you the truth. So without further ado, let's get started on today's video. I always like to take a peek at Walmart's specialty items. They had some adorable sprinkles again. I grabbed the one in the middle with the flower on it. And then aren't these marshmallows so adorable? If you're doing bumblebees, by the way, I think these bumblebees are so cute. Here's a decorating idea for kids, and it looks like everything's included, which is great if you're a mom like me and you don't feel like you're super creative in that department. I couldn't resist these plates with the gold trim. I thought they would be perfect for my coffee bar. They also had these, and I thought these were super cute, but they're a little too kiddie-ish for my coffee bar. They would be great for a kid's party though. After grabbing plates, napkins, sprinkles, and of course I had to hit the Easter candy aisle, I headed home to decorate my coffee bar. I'm starting off with this marble tray. Now, I found this recently at TJ Maxx, and as soon as I saw it, I knew I had to have it. It was only $14.99. I think it's so pretty, and I like the little gold detail on the handles. Then I'm going to add this thrifted bunny. I've had him for a few years now, and he does open up, so I can put candy inside him, which of course is what I will do. This pink ceramic basket looks like it could have come with the bunny, but it didn't. However, it was also thrifted for 82 cents. I also just recently thrifted this basket, which I think will be perfect for my cocoa and coffee pods. And by the way, that basket was $1. And then this little egg tree was from TJ Maxx, and it was $7.99. And then here's the sprinkles I picked up from Walmart. Now, I realize that most people don't put sprinkles on their coffee bar. However, I think it looks pretty, and my kids like to put it in their hot chocolate. Sprinkles are always good, aren't they? And they're good for cookies. I love cookies with the sprinkles on them, the sugar cookies. The cutout sugar cookies are my husband's favorite, but he's also always begging me to make him peanut butter cookies. Now, you guys always know I say I'm really bad at decisions, and I really am. I don't exaggerate that one bit. So the decision today, big decision I know, is do I go with the gold spoons or do I go with these chocolate stirrers with the marshmallows on them? What do you think? I decided to think about it, so in the meantime, I went ahead and started to wash some of my canisters here. So I have them lined up. I don't know if I'll use them all, but I know I'm going to use these beautiful plates that I picked up when we were at Walmart. And there were also napkins to match. I should have mentioned that when we were shopping, but anyway, now you know at least. This picture also came from Walmart. I picked it up a different day, but you may notice that it matches the plates and napkins. Isn't that so sweet? I just love it when little things like that come together. Now I'm going to add some of these Real Touch pink tulips to this picture, and I think they're going to look really nice next to the bunny print and my charcuterie board. So one quick correction that I want to make. In my last video, I showed you these gold eggs, and I called them Cadbury eggs, and they're not. They're the Balmer brand, but either way, they're only like $1 for each little package. Gold seems to be really popular again right now, and I'm glad because I've always liked gold. but I think these eggs go really nice with all the other gold details here on my coffee bar, like the handles on my tray and the syrup bottles, and of course the edge on the plates and the napkins. Now, I usually like to make things homemade, but in a pinch, I will grab some Little Debbie cakes. My husband doesn't like these at all. He thinks they taste too chemically, but you know, they're still good. Well, once again, I did go overboard with the Easter candy. So now I'm going to add some of these Reese's. I don't know how you say it. I guess it kind of depends on my mood, but these will go inside the bunny. So I did decide after all to change out these gold spoons for these chocolate stirrers because I realized I had bought so much Easter candy that I really didn't have anywhere to put marshmallows. So I'll have the marshmallows on these at least. And that's when I realized that I couldn't fit very many in this little jar. I could only fit 3 and I had 6 of them. So instead I decided to swap out the bigger jar that was not originally even planned. I actually figured this out while filming. I usually try to have everything planned ahead of time. I didn't do very well with that this time around, but I was able to fit 5 of them in this larger jar, and I think it fit just fine on the tray. Of course, you can't have an Easter coffee bar without jelly beans. I did not end up using those mini eggs, but you know, I love these cream cheese chocolate chips. I guess they're not chocolate, but these cream cheese chips, I totally recommend them. I mentioned them a couple videos back. They're so good. Even my husband likes them. So they must not taste chemically because you know how he is with anything that tastes chemically. And I don't know if you caught that, but I sneaked a couple of those cream cheese chips. I'm going to speed the camera up for you because this was a longer process than it should have been. So this is another thing I did not plan right while filming. I was going to put jelly beans in that basket, but at the last minute I thought, why not try carrots? But then I did not end up liking how these carrots looked. I thought maybe if I added a little height with some tissue, it would help. It still did not do it for me. And then I thought, I'm going to try these carrots. And yep, these were the ticket. I could not fit all 3 in there, but I was able to kind of squish them up. You can see these are the Hobby Lobby carrots, and they're filled with like a foam, but you can totally curl them, and I think that makes them look more natural. But I really liked how they turned out on this tray. Now, the night before this, I decided to make some magic bars. Now, I assume everybody knows what these are just because I pretty much grew up on these. My mom made these whenever we had like church events. Well, not every time, but she made them a lot. Church events, school events, they're so easy to make. In fact, I made a short video to show how they're made. I almost thought it was pointless because they're just that simple. You start with a crust. You could use like an Oreo cookie crust if you'd rather, and then sweetened condensed milk. Everything is good with sweetened condensed milk, isn't it? And then a layer of coconut, a layer of nuts, a layer of chocolate chips, and then in this case, to make it Easterized, I added the Easter M&Ms on the top. I showed the Cadbury eggs because some people put those on the top also, but I did not. And before moving on to the DIY that I am very much looking forward to sharing with you, I'm just going to give you a quick overview of how my Easter spring coffee bar turned out. My second one, I guess you would say, for this spring. I will say it's a lot more colorful than my first spring coffee bar, but with Easter coming, I think it's nice to pull out all the colors, especially the pastels. I just think they're so beautiful. So here's a rabbit trail, no pun intended. I'm probably going to date myself here, but do you remember back in the 1990s when they would have spring weddings, they had each bridesmaid in a different pastel color dress? I remember thinking that those were the prettiest weddings. Anyway, that's what came to my mind when I was looking at all these pastel colors. Next, I'm going to show you how to make an Easter wreath, but of course this would work for any kind of seasonal wreath that you wanted to make. I'm starting off with this 14-inch wreath from Hobby Lobby. They are not expensive. They're like $5 or $6, and I'm just cleaning it up by getting off some of the dried leaves and such. And then I dug in my greenery bin and just looked for some greenery and florals that I thought might work. And so here I'm just kind of laying them out. I don't end up using that second greenery piece, but then I do add one that isn't seen in this first frame, so I apologize for that. And then I knew I wanted to use this little bunny as well. So I start off by just dividing everything up with the wire cutters. I'll leave some of the stems bigger and some of them smaller, you know, just so I can kind of work with it and form the wreath as I go. I'm dividing up the greenery first because I'm going to use that as like the first layer. Now I'm just going to run a line of hot glue down the bottom of the stem and then stick it into the wreath. And then stem by stem, I'm just going to continue that process. Call me proud, but I feel like I have to give a disclaimer. My floors are not that dirty. What you see on the right hand of the screen, if you were wondering, is the dried leaves and twigs from when I pulled them off the grapevine. And if you're wondering, that's my hutch that they're in front of. So I'm sitting in my dining room. If you know the layout of my house, you now know where I'm sitting to do this wreath. Now, if you watch my videos regularly, you probably know that I'm not much for filler time. I usually cut the time by skipping ahead in videos. But in this case, I really wanted to show you where I placed each greenery stem and floral so that you could see the wreath taking shape for yourself, and also just to show you how simple it really is to create a wreath out of leftover greenery. This was the bush I added that I did not show you at the beginning because it was kind of a last minute idea, and it is from the Dollar Tree. As you can see, I used a wire cutters to cut that up in pieces. You know, even inexpensive flowers from Dollar Tree really come to life on a wreath. You may have noticed I kind of laid the pieces on the wreath first to decide where I wanted them, and I think that's a good idea before you actually go getting out the glue and sticking them in permanently. Although it's not really permanent, you can always pull it out again, which is nice because I'm always undecided. In a moment, I'll add the fuchsia pink pansies, which is what I think really gives this wreath the wow factor. This wreath is going to go on my front door, and therefore it's going to be the inspiration for the rest of my porch decor. I must confess, I'm slightly jealous of those of you in Florida and Texas and other places where it's already warm and you have your porches decorated for spring, and I'm here in Wisconsin, driving past all the greenhouses, eagerly looking for plants, only to be sad. But seriously though, I ordered a new porch rug from Amazon, a birdhouse, and a wall basket. I'm also seriously considering the white rocking chair at Walmart for my porch from their lawn and garden department. One thing that holds me back is that it comes in a box, and some rocking chairs are really uncomfortable. So I want to be able to sit on it first. I don't know, is that too much to ask? So you may notice at this point that I'm leaving a bare spot there on the left, and that's because my original intention while I was building this wreath was to put a big bow there, but you'll see later that I changed my mind. I'm pointing to the area where the bow would go, and instead I decide later to just fill that in with more pansies. I believe this bunny was from last year Walmart because I think I saw them again this year, else I would not have remembered. But he's nice and light, so he really works fine on this wreath. I'm just about to finish up here. I do a little more fluffing with the florals and the greenery, and then I will show you what the wreath looks like on my front door. I have to say, I never would have thought this would turn out as good as it did using just pieces I already had, but I really like how it turned out, and I'd love to know what you think in the comments. And I'd also love to know if you've ever made a wreath like this, or if you would consider trying it. It's been fun for me. I hope it's been fun for you. I hope that you gained some inspiration. I hope you liked this video. If you did, would you give it a like? If you didn't, would you give it a like? Thank you so much. That helps out my channel. If you haven't subscribed, I hope you'll consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, stay thankful.